We started our company, Girls Who Do Interiors, before we even graduated design school.
And we turned to Chase for Business to build along with us.
They had everything from banking to payment acceptance to credit cards all in one place. And with the Chase mobile app, our business is wherever we are. It's made for business owners who build to inspire. Learn more at chaseforbusiness.com. Make more of what's yours.
Real customers compensated. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Hello and welcome to a new podcast, The Paddock and The Pavilion with Stephen Wallace. In each show, Stephen will interview someone connected to the world of horse racing or cricket.
Hello everyone. On today's podcast, I'm with Jaydon Lee, a young man who looks after two of the biggest stars in national hunt racing, Shishkin and Constitution Hill, at Nicky Henderson's Seven Barrows stable in Lambourn. Thanks for joining me, Jaydon.
It's a pleasure having me. Thank you.
We must begin with Shishkin and Constitution Hill. How lucky are you to look after these two superstars?
I'm a very lucky lad. I'm in my dreams weren't as good as this, Just very lucky, really. I don't know how to describe it, really.
How did it come about that you're looking after the two of them?
Well, it was around a time when I finished racing school. I come into the Henderson team around Christmas time, and so did Shishkin, actually. And then he just found his name to mine, and that was it, really. He was mine on from there on in, really. Constitution was a bit different. Obviously, a few years had gone by before he came to us. It was a summer, last year. I was the only one to sit on him, and I quite liked him. I just put my name down for him, and he was mine then, luckily.
So Shishkin was virtually when you started, about 3 years ago, was it, when you started looking after him?
Yeah, no, 3 years ago, yeah. Like I said, straight from racing school, he arrived and I arrived at the same time. And that was that, really, yeah.
And you ride out Shishkin, but you don't ride out Constitution Hill, is that right?
That's correct. I had the occasional pop on Constitution, but Shishkin's my everyday ride, yeah.
And I suppose you know Shishkin better than Constitution Hill, but how do they compare character-wise?
They're both fairly relaxed, really. More so Constitution Hill. Anyone could ride him. I mean, anyone can ride him. You can look after him. He is so easy. Honestly, he could do it himself pretty much. Shishkin, he has a bit more personality, but like I said, he's just like Constitution. So relaxed, laid back, and easy to handle.
It must be thrilling to think you're riding Shishkin most days.
It is. No, it's a nice feeling to wake up in the morning and think you're going to ride such a horse like him. It's what gets you out of bed anyway.
So is he the first box you go to in the mornings?
Yeah, he's the first one I go to, yeah. I've got 4 to do, but he's the one I go to first.
Well, let's just talk about Cheltenham before we then talk about yourself. You must have had mixed emotions at Cheltenham, though, with Constitution Hill winning the Supreme Novice and Shishkin pulling up after 8 fences in the Champion Chase.
Yeah, it was a up and down week, really. I mean, on Tuesday we were on the highest of highs with Constitution, and then the next day we weren't on the lowest of lows, thank God, but we were quite low anyway. No, but like I say, it is racing and things like that do happen, but you just got to try and smile through it and put it behind you, I think.
Well, you enjoy the buzz of Cheltenham. What's it like when you're leading one of those in and Matt Chapman's trying to get a word off you?
No, yeah, it is some feel. I mean, it's something you don't really get anywhere else, really. It's just literally amphitheatre. It is absolutely amazing. It is incredible. Something you never forget anyway.
And where are they now? Are they both on summer holidays yet? Or are they still at Seven Barrows?
They're both on their holidays. Well, through the end anyway.
Well, let's talk about yourself. How did you start in racing?
Well, it goes back up for a while, really, because I didn't really have any horsey sort of background or horses myself. It was sheerly just down to watching the racing with my grandad at the weekend, really. And then as the weeks went by, my interest kind of grew in the sport, and I decided I wanted to actually start riding when I was about 8 or 9, I think it was. continued to do so for my school years. And then when I left, I made the decision to go to the BRS.
So when you were at school, had you set yourself, you wanted to be working in racing?
Yeah, that was the goal. Obviously, all my friends wanted to be footballers, rugby players and all that. But it just wasn't for me, really. But like I always knew what I wanted to do when I left school.
And you went to the British Racing School. How did you find that? That's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, it was tough, but it was a good experience. Well, I think it's an experience everyone needs to kind of have to kind of get yourself ready for life in racing. I had never worked on a yard before going there, and it is a bit of a shock. But I think as long as you have your buddies and your pals, you get through it together, and you get the most out of it.
And just go back. You come from Warwick way, isn't it? To Birmingham?
Warwick is Leamington Spa, isn't too far away from Warwick.
So was that the first time you'd been away from home? Because you were actually on site when you were at the British Racing School, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the first time I've been properly away from home. Luckily, I didn't struggle too bad on that part. But like I say, it is. You do get to go through the emotions when you leave home, especially at a young age.
And then from the British Racing School, how did you then get to Nicky Henderson's? That's the first yard you've worked at, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the first racing yard I worked at. So obviously you do mine was 12 weeks. And then at the last week, you have to fill out a form where you'd like to go. And ideally, they want places nearer to home for you. I was actually supposed to go to a different yard, but it was a goal of mine to get to Seven Barrows. So I went back to speak to the head man and said, "Look, I want to go to Seven Barrows." And luckily, there was a spot for me.
Oh, your dream came true then.
It did, yeah, exactly, yeah, it did.
So you'd never wanted to be a jockey? You must have done when you first went to the British Racing School.
Yeah, no, of course, yeah. Like I said, it was another goal of mine to achieve. But really, just over the years, my dream kind of fell apart really because I grew too tall, and my weight would be an issue. So we had to do something else.
Well, it's never a good thing for a jockey to be too tall. But what was it like? What was it like when you first started at Nicky Henderson's? This is 6-time champion trainer. Was it scary?
It was. I mean, I didn't really know what to expect, really. No, but it's one of those jobs where when you're new into racing and you go to such a big yard like him, it's a bit of a sink or swim, I think. But I mean, everyone's a big family here, a great team, so they look after you, and you do learn a lot on the job. So every day is just work in progress, really.
And what's it like being around people like Nicky Henderson and Nico de Boinville and people like that?
I find it great because you learn everything, you learn a new thing every day. It is great to be amongst those sort of people.
And what's your typical daily routine? What time are you an early? Well, you have to be an early riser, but were you an early riser before you went to the British Racing School?
No, no, I wasn't an early riser. No, but you're in at 6:30. And you look out your 4 horses, and then ideally you'll be tacked up ready for first slot about 7:30. Finish first slot about 8:15, I think, and then obviously you have about half an hour for breakfast, and then you carry on for your second and third lot, and that will get you to about 12 o'clock, ideally, depending if you have one more lot. And then you get done obviously from 12, come back at 4 till 5 for evening stables.
And do you then get to get racing when any of your 4 horses run?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Obviously, depending where it is, you'll leave at different times. They might get you to squeeze out one lot before you go. But like I say, you obviously, the morning of your race, you come in, do 4 horses, and then you'll go and go wherever you need to be.
And have your family been down? Did they come down when you first went to Seven Barrows to see what the setup was like?
Yeah, they did. I mean, myself and my family, we've been to the yard a few times before that with the Lambourn Open Day. So we kind of knew what the setup was like But no, the first day I arrived here, my nan, my granddad, and my mum was here just to see me settle in.
So was the Lambourn Open Day sort of a trigger to let you know the place where you wanted to work at?
Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, it is. Yeah, because I don't know why, but I just seem to have kind of leaned towards Henderson's horses, just watching them on telly. Probably the main reason why is because they were winning all the time. But no, I quite liked the way they looked, and I just wanted to end up there, really.
Well, you've ended up there. Do you look forward to the sort of big festivals like Cheltenham and Aintree and Punchestown?
No, you have to. I think it's our big 4 days of the year. It's always at Cheltenham and Aintree. It's what we do it for, and I think you just have to enjoy the build up to it, and then whatever happens on your day, it's just the way a racing goes sometimes. But no, it does get exciting once you come to these big festivals.
And what sort of things do you get up to outside of racing when you get some time off?
I'm quite quiet, so I'm quite boring as well. I don't really do a whole lot. But in the summer, you get a month off or something, and you go out on holiday or do whatever you like to do, really. But no, I'm quite boring.
So you'll soon be coming into a little bit more of a quieter time yourself at Seven Barrows.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, every week they're just starting to leave one by one now.
But talking about big days, there can't be any bigger one than the 22nd of January when you're at Ascot for the clash between Shishkin and Energumene, called a race for the ages. What was it like being there on that day?
It was the best day of my racing journey so far. Anyway, I don't think anything can beat that. Really, it was a special day, something I'll never forget. And
are you confident that Shishkin will be back next season better than ever and able to turn the tables on? Well, not turn the tables, but to beat Energumene again in the champion chase. Yeah,
no, I have no doubt. He's absolutely fine. He's A1. He's having a well-deserved summer, and then he'll come back, and then we'll see where we go.
And Constitution Hill, he'll be moving towards ultimately tackling Honeysuckle in the champion hurdle.
Yeah, I presume so. Like that. Obviously, when you win these Supremes the way he did, there's would he stay hurdling? Would he go chasing? Obviously, that's up to Michael Buckley and my governor. So let's leave it up to them. And at this point, nothing is certain. So we'll just see how he is when he comes back.
Well, there's certainly two horses to look forward to when you go back. As a sort of final question, as a young person who's not from a racing background, been in racing now 3 years, why should young people get involved in horse racing?
I think really if you think about doing it, just go straight in, just jump straight in. Whether it be at the deep end or just little baby steps, you get to meet so many people. It's great. The opportunities are endless, and it's not a job really. It's just like going to a social club with your pals or the pub. It is great. It doesn't feel like a job.
So you'd recommend it to any young person?
Oh, most definitely, yeah.
And clearly you've got a passion for animals and horses.
Yeah, I do, yeah. No, I have a dog at home and that, so it's not just all about horses, but the horses are what keeps me busy anyway.
Well, thank you very much, Jaydon, for coming on the Paddock and the Pavilion and telling me your story, and the best of luck for the 2022-23 season. It's always hard in national hunt racing. And also, let's hope that Shishkin and Constitution Hill can do a big double next year at Cheltenham.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, we can only hope. But no, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure being on the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to The Paddock and the Pavilion. You can download the show on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Stitcher and Spotify. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at The Pad and Pav.
Social Podcast Network.
Looking for a fun way to win 25 times your money this football and basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and injury insurance on your picks are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million players who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/play100 and use code play100. That's code play100 at prizepicks.com/play100 for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.